The U.S. Supreme Court rejected a controversial political theory by state lawmakers, claiming that they should control redistricting, not the courts.
Well, Republican General Assembly members argued that the state's highest court overstepped by rejecting 2022 legislative maps. And D.C. justices ruled North Carolina's high court was in the right. The state Supreme Court now has GOP majority, and in April, Republican justices overturned the previous decision from the democratically controlled court. I mean, it's a lot to be able to take in to be able to really understand what we're talking about. Let's bring in Chief Legal Analyst Kali Frodes joining us, talking about this particular case.
Yeah, so Kali, how did we get to this point?
Obviously, we wouldn't be doing anything politically in North Carolina if we weren't talking about maps. Yeah. Take it back to 2017, state legislators drew maps on the state legislative side, and the court said at that time that they had used to attack African-American voters surgical precision. Fast forward to the 2020 census, we redistrict again on the congressional side. When they redistrict on that side, what they attempted to do was try to figure out if this was something that the courts could even look at. And the trial court said, no, this is something that courts can't even look at. So it went all the way up to the North Carolina Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court at that time, it was democratically led. And they said, yes, there is an opportunity for courts to review this. They went back again. The court said, yes, in Harper 2, courts can review this, and so they took it all the way up to the North Carolina Supreme Court. Well, within that time frame, the structure of our Supreme Court changed drastically. So now it's GOP-led. What did they say? They said, you know what, we'll overturn Harper 1, we'll overturn Harper 2, and now actually we don't know if courts should be looking at these cases. Today, the Supreme Court said, well, actually, you do have authority, and that novel idea that the General Assembly has pushed forward, that this independent state legislatures, that's something that is a novel idea that is not really applicable to this. You are subject to court oversight.
You know, when you talk about this whole subject as a whole, sometimes I think it just gets confusing, so I apologize for this basic question, but does the ruling now stop the state's congressional maps then from being challenged?
It doesn't. It actually opens them up. It opens them up to scrutiny for sure, so the challenges could be there. What our General Assembly wanted to do was just have an open ability to go unchecked. And our system is not made that way. It's a checks and balances, and for sure the court hammered that home. I don't really think it has that much of an impact in our state because our Supreme Court has already addressed our maps. However, in other states, that it will have a lasting effect and impact on how other general assemblies that are specifically GOP held will have an opportunity to be checked and balanced by their state's courts.
So then what does this mean specifically for redistricting in our state as it continues to grow? Will that change at all?
No, I mean, unless the GOP, unless we get different folks in our North Carolina Supreme Court, right now, our Supreme Court says they won't touch it. This case really is saying, did they have authority to touch it? And the answer today was yes, you have authority to touch it, but our state's highest court has already spoken and said we won't. All
right, Kali Frodes, appreciate your insight for this. Always a pleasure to be able to talk to you, especially how you give us more insight as understanding what's going on.
Breaking it all down for us.
For sure.